Are we good? Well, nice to see you again, and thank you so much for this movie. It's fantastic. I don't know what to say.
Well, you have a lot of people, not me, to thank. I mean, a stupendous crew of astronauts that brought that spectacular footage back, and then all the people at Space Telescope Science Institute and the National Center for Supercomputing. They're two amazing teams that handled the Hubble data.
Yeah. Just pretty amazing.
So I just had to sit there and enjoy it.
Well, you did a lot of work too, don't be, but I have to ask you, I mean, you've been working with IMAX for many, many years, right? From day one pretty well. But now you're bringing us something in 3D. What kind of, what were you thinking? Were you a bit nervous about this challenge, or was there, what?
Well, it actually was not my first 3D film. I guess we made a film, a first underwater 3D film back in the early 90s, and then another space-related film, and then Space Station. So it's about the 6th or 7th 3D film. But each of those is a new learning curve. The human brain is a marvelous thing, and you learn lots about how people perceive things, how to shoot things. It seems to change with every environment that you go in. And in this case, it was, we couldn't fly an IMAX 3D camera in the cabin because of stowage constraints. So we had an HD TV camera to work with only. And so the challenge was turning that into 3D post. And then, of course, we had the cargo bay camera, but the challenge of that is that although it carries a mile of film, that only translates into 8 minutes of footage. So that in itself is a challenge, but very pressure-giving for Ray J, the pilot, who was our space director of photography.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that because, here you have these astronauts who they're so gung-ho on helping you, make this picture. They want to, but they have a mission to complete, they have to do that. They have a job to do. So what was it in terms of your preparation with them? How did you know, this was going to be the right crew, the right people to work with?
Well, I had met them all before, or most of them, because when we were opening Space Station, they happened to be coming back from the last Hubble repair mission, and they came to the opening of Space Station. And then I met the commander again because he was Tom Cruise's Top Gun instructor, and I was working with Tom on Space Station. The commander usually assigns the person on the crew who will be the IMAX person, and that's dictated by who's got time to do it, really. And of course, on that crew with 2 sets of spacewalkers, and then Megan MacArthur being the chief RMS operator, that took care of 5 other people. So it really only left the commander and Ray J, the pilot, who would have the time to devote to it. But at the end of the day, it took a lot of people up there to coordinate the shots. They can't tell, okay, Megan, move him over because it makes a better shot, but it's still, to get the timing right, they were all working at it on the flight deck, I know that.
Yeah, for sure.
But you can't ask them to do that, of course not. But they did. They put their heart and soul into that.
And then they bring you back this magnificent footage. I mean, my God, you probably never dreamed you'd get stuff like that.
No,
but was there anything in particular that just totally blew you away?
Of the footage they brought back, I think, I was astonished by being able to really see right into the telescope, to its bowels. And I guess I loved the shot of Drew, the big close-up where he's bringing co-star right down over the audience, and you can see the threads in his spacesuit, and that's to me an archetypal 3D shot, and it's just so it's also a sync shot. I mean, if you look over at his head on the right side of screen, he's actually, as you hear him talking, he is doing it, and that's quite an astonishing thing for IMAX in space.
Yeah. So. How meticulously did you have to kind of prepare in terms of what they were going to get up there? I mean, you only have a certain amount of film, right?
Yeah.
It's like 8 minutes.
8 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a lot of time.
Yeah, and that puts a lot of pressure on the crew. But in fact, we do a shopping list. We develop a shopping list of scenes based on their timeline of the spacewalks. And we do that through observing their training runs in the neutral buoyancy pool. We even had a little camera in there that John Grunsfeld arranged for us that didn't have our lenses on, but it was a video camera in the right position, so we could see what we would be likely to get. So I picked out from those videos, you know, about 16, which is what, 15 or 16 shots is 8 minutes, really. And I picked out a number of scenes, and then I went over them with Ray J and said, these are good moments, but there may be 32 other good moments, and you are totally free to choose those. You know, you're the director. We train you to do that. So if the lighting isn't optimum when they're specifically doing this task, then you choose something else. We just wanted coverage in a generic sense of each different spacewalk, and they were amazingly successful at it. But it's hard, because if you say, okay, I'm going to shoot him as he turns around on the RMS to get this, the subject may start to turn around. You've pressed the button, and then he thinks, oh, wait a second, I'm going to go back in there. I'm not ready to do that yet, and your shot's ruined. That didn't happen, though.
Thank goodness.
Thank God.
Very, very lucky.
Yeah,
you've been also speaking of very lucky and talent, you've had great people doing voiceovers for your films. I mean, you know, but
Am
Leonardo.
I blessed?
Yeah, seriously. But Leonardo DiCaprio, I don't think you could have picked anybody better for this particular one. How did you enjoy working with him?
I loved working with Leonardo. That was a total blessing. He's a very, very passionate and committed person, as you know, an environmentalist. He said right off the top, I'm not a space scientist, you know, I'm interested in it, but he had a lot of good suggestions, and I really enjoyed working with him, and I think he did a tremendous job. I think he sounds wonderful.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, we love seeing that Canada arm in there. You got it in quite a bit. I was very, very happy, very proud.
Well, you know, whoever put the Canada logo on there really knew what they were doing, because you can't avoid it. It's there. It's there in every view of the RMS.
It's pretty amazing.
And I'm glad that they're coming home. Yeah. I'm sad that the shuttle program is winding up. But
yeah, is it kind of bittersweet?
Very bittersweet. In fact, when we were shooting the launch scenes from the top of the tower, the RSS there, looking down on the nose, and we were installing the camera there that day, I looked around, I could see the other pad and the other shuttle on it, I could see the VAB, and I thought, you know, in 10 months this is all going to be ancient history, it'll all be gone. And it hit me that IMAX had covered all, not continuously, but the entire program. Our first film was about STS-1, and I thought, that's astonishing. This was our 24th flight in 25 years.
You should just be an honorary astronaut. I think really
Love
they should have
it.
just let you go up there. And if you need an assistant, I'm happy to be there with you.
Well, let's get going. I mean, no, I would go in a heartbeat. Lots of people ask that. Yeah. And you'd be amazed at how many people don't want to go.
Yeah. That's a scary
thing. I would.
I would too. It's a scary thing, but...
Soyuz, I'm not so sure. I was up on top when that vehicle was completely fueled, and I walked around this little tiny catwalk. It's little, and I had a new respect for anybody who gets in there and gets blasted off. You know, you might as well be in a soup can.
No kidding, how amazing. Well, congratulations on this. You've just done an outstanding job, and I can't wait for your next one, and come back to Toronto and you're work with your team there.
Well, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Good stuff.
I hope to do a Earth-looking film.
Oh,
next.
fantastic. Always great to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Very